With only $5 to start investing, Livermore won money insanely, making a number of U.S. securities companies refuse to open accounts and do transactions with him. Even investment banking moguls have to beg him for mercy. He once earned wealth reached 1/40th of the U.S. GDP. His reputation go beyond today's stock god Warren Buffett, and is known as a world-renowned investment master. Livermore. In the present time, investment masters are everywhere, including the world's richest stock god, Warren Buffett, the financial predator, George Soros, and the most powerful fund manager, Peter Lynch. However, in 1999, the New York Times launched a poll of greatest master of past 100 years in the U.S. stock market, and those names are not even mentioned. In the end, Jesse Livermore, who passed away for so long, was elected. What kind of a master is he? How did he earn his first bucket of wealth? Jesse Livermore was born in a family of farmers in Massachusetts. After Livermore finished his high school degree, his father asked him to drop out of school to help on the farm. Little Livermore was not willing to live in such ordinary rural life for the rest of his life. Then 14-year-old Livermore went to Boston alone with $5 from his mother. He got a job of writing data on Blackboard in stock brokerage, and got paid weekly salary of $6. This brokerage firm employs a quotation collector, sitting by a quotation machine in the business hall. As soon as the stock quotation comes in, collector have to shout out. Then, Livermore need to transcribe those numbers quickly on a large blackboard. The blackboard covered the entire wall of the brokerage firm. In the daily quotes, these up and down stock prices is boring to outsiders, but for Livermore, each one is dynamic and meaningful. He thus developed an agile sense to numbers and interested in prices movement. If it only stopped there, I believe there would be no later stock masters appear. So how did Livermore go forward? Unlike general public, Livermore does not merely keep his interest at a shallow level to entertain himself, but learn further, develop and improve. As the daily quotes were uploaded to the board, he began to make his own notes, and he used percentage to mark the ups and downs and fluctuations of the stock price. As the years went by, he found that the prices of these stocks showed certain rhythms, and some of the patterns were just matched his notes. After thousands of quotes were recorded, Livermore studied the price movements, and looked for patterns that would represent him, market shifts. By working hard all the time, taking notes, researching and learning, Livermore has built a solid foundation for success on investing. With everything in place, how will Livermore show what he has learned on the job? Eager to learn, Livermore carried a small book with him to record his observations. He made notes of both successful and unsuccessful predictions, and also recorded where the stock price was expected to go next. These records were eventually compiled to see the probability of his predictio as being correct. Livermore thus built up the concept of stock price fluctuations. After carrying on in this way for 6 months, he had a chance to practice. This is the first step taken by the investment guru. Let's look at his description in his book. One day at noon, I was having lunch and a colleague in the office, a little older than me, came up to me and quietly asked me if I had any money on me. "What do you want?" I asked. "Hey," he said, "I've heard some good news about Burlington, and if someone would work with me, I'd jump at the chance to have some fun." "What do you mean by having some fun?" I asked. In my eyes, people who can play such games are rich veterans, because such games cost thousands of dollars. Only those who own private carriages, and also hire carriage drivers wearing silk hats are eligible. I want it to be only once. "How much you have? How much do you want?" "Well, I can call $5 as margin for 5 shares of Burlington." Livermore started going through his little book by looking at it page by page, and after finding the record of this stock, it was just like the trend pattern he predicted. So Livermore and his colleagues bought 5 shares of Burlington stock for a joint venture of $5. 2 days later, they cashed out and split the bill, with Livermore earning $3.12. Many people may be dumbfounded to see this amount. The number how much is not important. What important is that the master has verified the results of his own overall research predictions through this investment, which is obviously important. How to characterize this important first transaction is far more valuable. Has Livermore been on a roll ever since? After Livermore and his colleagues made this start, he began to buy and sell stocks on his own. He always bought or sold stocks during his breaks, and his secret was based on his own notes, and a set of tips for buying and selling stocks. He was able to resist the various and diverse buying and selling suggestions in the market. His only concern was the numbers of the stock price, and he didn't always trade his favorite stocks. He got better and better, and soon earned more money trading stocks than he did as a ticker. Then he quit his job despite his family's objections and Dee's mother's misgivings. However, when he was still a kid, he had earned his first $1,000 at the age of 15. Other investment gurus of his age were still in school at the time. Livermore began to fight more and more courageously. He relied on his sensitivity to the numbers, his talent for volatility analysis, and his special skills in index gaming activities to play successfully against various shell brokerage firms. A shell brokerage firm is one in which all of the transactions are not entered into the market. The client and the brokerage firm are in a bet-on relationship, a business model allowed by U.S. law at the time. Livermore took advantage of this trading model, and in the course of such brokerage firm betting business transactions, Livermore often caused these brokerage firms to lose money. At the age of only 20, Livermore was already unable to trade with all the shell brokerages in Boston, and even when he went to trade in disguise, these brokers often recognized him. Livermore became a blacklist. This is unfair to a speculator and also to a future investment guru, but from the other side is also the greatest honor to an investor. Obviously, success for one does not happen by chance. It takes constant dedication to stay profitable for a long time. Livermore's success is not a fluke. He is able to learn from every transaction and record everything from trading. Long-term experience plus long-term practice, repeatedly, training made Livermore's investment performance rising. He went to Wall Street with $10,000 in order to make better deals, but because the teletype was extremely inefficient at the time to deliver quotes on paper tape, this speed of trading eventually led to Livermore losing money. In 191, at the age of 24, Livermore moved to Missouri and continued to trade, investing in shares of the Northern Pacific Railroad, increasing his assets from $10,000 to $50,000. Putting great effort into the investment was the key to his final success. Livermore's first bucket of cash is not much, same as many people. If you want to live and enjoy a rich life, then you have to ask yourself how much you are paying for. Many people do not have a strong desire for wealth, as if they were really craving for it, it would be right to stay awake, at work. Let's end today's content with a quote from Livermore. The reason why I make a lot of money is never by my actions, but always by my inaction, by my patient perseverance. This is also for you who are watching the video in front of the screen.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and like.